Hello guys. Welcome back. Welcome to the Q&A video where I answer your questions as well as I can. What time is it? It's 2:19. Okay, I was supposed to start a while ago, but that's okay. We're here now. I have a lot of questions to get through rather. If you asked multiple questions, I either picked the best one that I could answer. I didn't get to every single question, probably like 98%, because I didn't want to take on too many questions. Okay, if you answer more than one question in one setting, it's fine. I'll try to answer them. But I try not to go over 25 questions, okay? So I bought a new mic. Hopefully there'll be no problems this go around. The other mic was basically falling apart. It couldn't even stay upright really. So I just bought the same microphone. I really like this microphone, okay? So let's jump into it. All right. First question. First question is from, clean this. Okay, first question is from Hoopy Bunny 53. If I may ask a question, Kim, is it possible for the time to shift and Lotus does not become our president, as in the goalpost moving? I mean, I don't know about time shifting. I think we are where we were supposed to be. Yes, the energy changes. You never know. The energy right now is pointing to yes. How? I see many avenues. Like I said, if you've been watching my videos, there's multiple things happening. So I don't know about a time shift where that won't have the energy. What they show me is always a yes. How that quite happens, there's many different things swirling as a catalyst, from what I understand. But no, I don't see that. You never know. You never know what could happen because free will and, but I feel like my intuition, my guides, it's telling me we'll end up in the same space. The journey, how to get there, will be bumpy and interesting, so to speak, at least for our history books. So no, I don't see that. Okay. All right. Alyssa L. What is the next step from our military? Now that it has been proven that Trump is a KGB agent, will our military change? Will our military stage a coup and save our democracy, or will it come from the ICC? That's a big question. Everything, this is for entertainment purposes only, guys. Informational purpose only. Everything I say here is alleged, okay? I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that. I feel like, I saw that name. I did watch Rosie's video. And that name, Krasnov. I saw that name before. It felt, as she was talking, I was like, I felt like I know this. I said, I feel like I knew this. I know that name. I've seen that name. I've heard that name before. I mean, that's tough. it's like I don't know what I can't speak to what our military would do. And in doing a reading on that, that would have to be something I'll do and the story continues. Maybe I could pull one card real quick. But that would have to be something I would have to really look at. But I did, when I saw this question, I did tap into it, and I feel like they already know this. Perhaps. Maybe there's not irrefutable evidence, but it's like intelligence, perhaps. I feel like they know this. Someone knows this. And I don't know. I'll have to look deeper, honestly. But I do know that name. I've seen that before. I was shown that. Well, let's see if they know this intelligence, first of all. Is it a rumor? Is it something that is on their part irrefutable with evidence? That would be crazy, you know? I'm going to ask them, my guides, to show me if they can either a court card or a major arcana card as an answer for yes. And the rest, no. Let's see what they do. Let's see if I'm in the right direction of it. And it says, it feels like the answer is not no. It feels like with the Four of Pentacles, it's kind of telling me like that's, something that can't be known. Or maybe, let me sit with this for a second. Why'd you show me the Four of Pentacles? It's like because it's information they're holding on to that not everyone knows. So maybe someone very important with this, we see that like Four of Pentacles is not letting something go. Oh wait, no, not this one. Still haven't found my new pendulum, guys. Still missing an ether. Do they have this top intelligence about Donald Trump? He's saying no. And not everyone knows this. Or it's viewed as maybe a rumor, but they don't have solid evidence of it. I feel like with this, it's like people who are in the know the truth, perhaps. I'll look at this more, but some people know that that's true. Some people may not. Not everyone is given this information. It feels like espionage stuff. That's what it feels like to me. Okay. Hope I answered your question, but I'll look at that deeper in the future. Simply Venus. If Earth is words. If Earth is supposed to move into the 5th dimension in the next 10 plus years, what happens to those people that don't move out of the third dimension. One of my guides says something. They become Dementors, you know, from Harry Potter. No, that was B. I don't know. I don't know what happens to them. Let me ask my guides. Let me see what they say. They become Dementors. Okay. They're sort of saying nothing will happen to them. You know, they'll stay in the same sort of place, having to learn, you know, lessons. It's just like anything, I feel, with expanding yourself, moving out of bad patterns, you know, awakening in some sense. And there's resistance to that, to change. So they'll just stay where they are. They need more time to learn their lesson. Okay? Mentor. All right. DEJOY-WHY. Thanks for channeling Mariangelo. You're welcome. I'm also wondering if you sense any nefarious forces behind the recent air disasters. I did talk about this last time. I'm not ready to look at that yet for some reason. It could be, I mean, after what Mark Rutte was talking about, he mentioned that. He mentioned the disruptors, Russia. I call them the disruptors, okay? He mentioned that as one of the things they're doing, messing with commercial airplanes. He mentioned that. And so it's possible. I feel like let's ask the pendulum. Nefarious forces. Are nefarious forces behind these plane disasters? Are nefarious forces behind these plane disasters? See, it's going in a circle, saying maybe. That's what I feel. It's like not definitive. I feel like there's multiple things happening here. Just plain human error with there being no government. And so all of these firings, and you know, that's part of it. You know, one person can't do multiple people jobs, so things are going to pop off when you mess with something like that, when you mess with safety. But it's saying maybe in terms of nefarious stuff happening. And I don't know. And my intuition feels like it could be. I have an inkling, but I'm not sure. Okay? You know, the way the way this works for me sometimes is like all psychics are different and readers are different. So for me, it's like my thing is very slow, where my guides will tell me, you're not ready to look at that yet. Look at this instead. You're not ready to channel that. Channel this instead. That's what it feels like for me. Anyway, I'll get to that. But next question. Um, HWILL. Will LETICIA James and FANI WILLIS be safe from unwarranted persecution from the bonkers Department of Justice and FBI? Thank you. Oh, interesting. That's a very good question. Will they be safe? Let's see real quick. Man, they are strong, first of all. As I tapped, I see their faces, and it's this stone cold look on their faces. Both intelligent women. You cannot shake them. And I just heard they are protected. Just like with Charles Q. Brown. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Just seeking validation in my thoughts. Right? A recovery. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. And the Strength card upright. And literally that's what I said. They're so strong. They could get through any obstacle. Okay? I feel like they'll be okay. I'll show you the card in a second. You know, if the 5 of Pentacles were upright, then, you know, there'd be a problem. But it's in reverse here. Yeah, look, the 8 of Swords is in reverse too. They'll be okay. It'll be burdensome. So this is how. 8 of Swords in reverse. 5 of Pentacles in reverse with the Strength card in the middle upright. So yes, they'll be okay. Yeah. The answer is yes. It'll be difficult. They might have some difficulties, but they'll be fine in the long run. This 8 of Swords in reverse is being released. You know? When it's upright, it's about feeling trapped. Breaking free from limitations with the 8 of Swords in reverse. The Strength card, the major card here, is about using your inner resources and outer resources to get through any obstacles. They are strong. These women are intelligent. They'll be fine. They're not scared of Donald Trump. They're not scared of the Department of Justice because they know they're on the right side of justice. Okay? Next question. Okay. Siobhan C 9102. Does Trump have progressing aging challenges? Yes, he does. He does. I've looked. I'm not diagnosing him with anything. I'm not a doctor, but I do see in his energy big health issues. Yes, because he's aging and because he doesn't take care of himself. He ignores doctor's orders. Okay? Yes, the answer. I've pulled multiple times on that. I see it in his energy. I see it. I feel when I channel him. There's some mental stuff happening. There's cognitive stuff. Next question. Lily 01212. Can you speak with Jesus? If so, I'm wondering if he can give us a message about what's happening on Earth. Perhaps he can provide some wisdom and or encouragement concerning these challenging times. Can I speak to, we all can speak to Jesus, but you mean channeling. Shoot. Can I do that? Possibly, probably. Yeah, I can probably talk to Jesus. He's a very available, he was available in the physical world. He would just show up when people asked. He always showed up. So I don't see, I'll try that. I'm a little bit intimidated. I don't know why. I shouldn't be. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Interesting. Yes, the answer is. Okay. 𝐞𝐩2422. The question is more related to you out of curiosity. What do you do with your written channeled messages? Are you saving them? Maybe write a book with them. I think that would be a great idea once we're all out of, yes, on the other side of this. I do keep them. I keep them on my shelf with all my cards, the giant bookshelf I have, and I keep them stocked and tied with hair ties. So yes, I have all of them. It's a lot. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with them. I don't write a book. I'm not a writing a book person, so I haven't figured out what I'll do. Okay. If I'm like, I'm going to write a book, I like writing, yeah. But if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to write a book, it will never get done. It will be unfinished. Okay. Maybe someone could write it for me. I don't know. I lost my place. Hold on. Okay. Next question. 7G Campa. I have a question. I have seen some readers discussing that 45 is highly involved in sex trafficking, especially the 1,500 children that are still missing. Is that what is going to open some of the MAGA'S eyes? No, that he has been involved in this. No. Some of them, perhaps, if, that comes out. Most of them, no. Like I said, there's a psychology to them. You can't, when your brain is washed, it takes a lot of work to refute their beliefs about this man. It would have to be something directly challenging their belief and what they believe. So some perhaps, but I don't know. Tall order there. I don't think so. Let me ask. I mean, like, they showed me this. I know their energy. Some of them. Not all of them. Next question. Star, WILL 5 and C. If it all pans out like it's supposed to, do you see Kamala stepping in as president, or will there be a required revote? And while that takes place, will Joe Biden be the temporary president? Dotting all the T's, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's. it's interesting because it's like I can't see that far. I can't see that far. It's like trying to guess 3-card Monte. Is that what it's called? You know, when you guess or you try to find where the ball is under the cup. You know, I can't go that far. Because it's not something we want to understand. That hasn't changed. That isn't, you know, it's not something that we imagine. Thinking back to what my Angelo showed me, people will be the main reason. The people will do this. But as opposed to how that would happen, like I can't see that far, or I'm not being shown that. I'm being told it's not what you would imagine. Okay. It's like they're saying, like I keep from the beginning of this, A, B, C, D, E, F is happening in chapters, sections, pieces. You know, so the reason why I maybe can't see it is because we're not even in that piece or chapter yet. All things need to happen before. I said it in my readings yesterday and multiple other ones. This needs to happen, then this needs to happen. For this to happen, this needs to happen. That's what it feels like. Okay. Crazy. That was a good question. These are good questions when you guys ask that sort of question. Chalissa see my dyslexia. Chalissa 427. Hello, Kim. I appreciate you shedding some light on your relationship with your spirit guides. Thank you. And how you meditate to connect with them. You mentioned you have ADHD, and I suspect I do too. Do you have any tips for beginners hoping to start connecting with their spirit guides, and who also struggles with focusing while meditating? Thank you for all that you do. I still struggle. Who was I channeling yesterday and I just was like all over the place? It was JFK. I couldn't focus with him. But, you know, to connect, they're not really synonymous. And the thing about ADHD, for one, you should probably try to get a formal diagnosis, for one, if you could afford that, if you can. Because it affects people, their executive functioning in different ways. It's not all the same. Or you could just read about it and read, you know, before doing that, you know your mind. So if you suspect that's what it is, it could be that. So I always say psychoeducation is the most important to understand how it manifests in your life. Okay. So read up about, if you haven't, I don't want to assume that you haven't, read up about it and really begin to understand how, you know, what the executive functioning or dysfunctioning, how it affects that. Okay. But in terms of your guides, connecting with your guides, it's not super synonymous. I could feel your intimidation with that. I could feel it in the energy. So, there are things about people with ADHD, you could use the symptoms to your advantage sometimes. Like I'm able to, I mean, this is sort of a myth, but it works for me. I'm able to do multiple things and hold multiple types of information at the same time. Um, in terms of like connecting with your guys, you could ask them to help you. I'll do that all the time. I'll be like, please help me refocus, and they just help. I don't meditate in silence. So what I've been using lately is Pure Tones. It's a YouTube channel. If you want the link, I can give it to you. Just email me moonlightergy15@gmail.com. Okay, so there's certain sounds for me that help me focus when I'm doing this, when I'm connecting or using my gifts. Okay, so it's possible that yes, you can. With having ADHD, mine is inattention. Okay, so I don't have hyperactivity. It's mostly inattention. So it's really a lot of inattention. But there are things you can do so you could still do this work with having ADHD. It's just you have to find out how it affects you, one, and you have to build a system that works for you. And it's experimenting. But in terms of connecting with your guides, you have to find what works for you. But you could start the work. And the meditation doesn't have to be listening to Pure Toned or listening to something that help you focus. It could be informal, like I talked about before. Okay. I hope that answered your question. Where am I? Okay. We're moving along. We're chugging along. Next question is from... that was my sister's dramatic sneeze. Paul... Hold on. Paul L. My question is... Kamala. Why do I do that? Kamala. It's my brain. Is Kamala aware of the love and support she has from her voters? She's the first politician to ever get me actually politically excited about politics. Yes, she is well aware. Yes. Yes. And she is grateful. Very genuine, her energy. Next question. Nisha G4042. What was Louis DeJoy's involvement in the 2024 election, and why didn't Biden get rid of him? He was involved. What was his? Well, first let's see. Man, I haven't heard that name in a long time. I'm not sure why Biden didn't get rid of him. I just heard because he couldn't. That's not really his style. Because you're not supposed to really do that sort of stuff to people, regardless of, you know what I mean? They would have to be atrocious at their job. You know what I mean? It's not his zhuzh to just fire someone. Let's see. Was he involved? Let's wait for it too. Was Louis DeJoy involved in 2024 election fraud? Was he involved in 2024 election fraud? Saying no. Saying no. If there's information out there that says otherwise, you guys could share that with me. But the energy says no, he wasn't involved. I feel like my guys keep showing me this Biden and DeJoy, like there was an understanding. You know? That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Like, he's not, you know, he wasn't, he was shady. He was shady, but I feel like he's shaped up in some way. I could be wrong. I feel like he, let me see. There's something I'm seeing. Let me pull. Let me look at these cards real quick. Seeing something here. Something change. Empress. I don't know. I don't know what shifted. Something. But he, you know, it's not Biden's. I see in the energy he didn't, you know. Maybe he didn't think it was important, or he couldn't. But it feels like he's saying, and it feels like he's not like that to just fire someone. I don't know. People, it's hard to lose your federal job. It is, you know. Even if you fire, you see all those people got their jobs back. Because it's, you know, they're protected. But DT is a dummy, and he doesn't always realize that. You can't just fire people. They, you know, their jobs are protected. Anyway. What a dope. Where am I? Okay, Sunny Leo Cat. Hi Kim, I have a question for you. Would you mind explaining how your readings... Oh, sure, for clients are done. No, I don't do it over Zoom. What you can do is you could go to the description of my channel. You'll see the link to my Ko-fi page. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you could email me for the link moonlightenergy15@gmail.com, and I do PDF. I do electronic deliveries, so you'll get a PDF of your reading. You could request a reading through there, explain what you want, and I will answer you. It takes 5 to 7 days for a reading. Okay. When I'm really zonked, it could take longer, but I try not to go over 7 days. But no, I don't do over. I used to do it over Zoom a long time ago, but I meet with clients all day, and that is draining. Seeing them and feeling their energy, when I'm looking directly at someone, I'm drained. The energy is stronger. Okay, for me at least. So no, I would not do this if I had to do it over Zoom. So there's your answer. Okay. Okay. This is Moyan U7469. Hi, Kimberly. Hello. Will most of the people in the U.S. realize that F-45 is a traitor to this country, and that some of Congress is as well? Also, will everyone who has hitched their lives to 45. Cabinet members and billionaires go down when he does. Most people realize that he is who he is. Most of the country realizes that he is who he is. Most of the country realizes that these people are who they are. Some people respond with fighting. Some people have responded with apathy. You know, they think things won't change. It's just, here we are, you know. What was I going to say? Yes, people who, you see the pattern. People who align themselves with Donald Trump don't realize that you're not in league with him. So his consequence, he usually gets a small one, but he doesn't. The ones who attach themselves to him get the big consequences, losing their livelihood, losing their licenses, you know, for the oaths that they have taken for their positions. So yes, I do see that happening. Absolutely, yes. And let's ask the pendulum. Can't see it. I'm going to put this under here. This is a board that I bought. I don't use it. It's for the pendulum. I see other readers use it. I haven't used it yet. You can't see it, but I'm doing this so you can see the pendulum swing. Okay. Do most people know that Donald Trump is a treasonous president? Do most people in this country know that Donald Trump is a treasonous president? Swinging a heavy yes. Okay, back to neutral. Will people who align themselves with Trump this time suffer the consequences more than him? Will people who align themselves with Trump suffer the consequences more than him? And it's a yes. I just heard more people will turn on him faster. So there you go. More people will turn on him faster. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry, bear with me, guys. All right, next question. John R 3302. Really powerful message from Kamala. Thank you for sharing. She's going to make a great president and the kind of leader we need for this country. I have so many questions. Okay. You mentioned in the last Q&A that one of your guys, being from another world or unworldly and scary with lots of intimidating energy when you first met him. Was he an ET, and what is your understanding of ETs and their interest in humanity? B wasn't scary. It was one of the archangels, 𝐞𝐬. They were intimidating. I'll just say he. B, when I asked if I could see what he looks like, he joked and said, my appearance would frighten you. My true form would frighten you. And then he said, no, I'm joking. I'm made of energy. He is not from this world. He is made of energy. Is he an alien? It feels like it. Yes. I'm pretty sure, unless it was not, maybe I should ask. I'm pretty sure B has been around me for a long time. And they're saying yes. And my understanding of ETs is, I mean, that would take a whole other video, but I don't know. I feel like, let me look at your other question, because I have a tendency to, ETs, an interest in humanity. Have your guides and angels introduce you to any of them? I have a very interesting relationship with aliens. I often would dream about alien invasions. That would be like the theme of my dreams, and they were always very frightening until recently. They were always about to end our world in my dreams for some reason. They were nightmares. And I would always, until recently, the last few months or so, I would dream about spaceships and not be afraid. Understanding, I don't know what shifted. You know, it says like it's about, when you dream about spaceships, it's about expansion and all, you know. But in the way the spaceship looks, and I would dream recently, and I'm not afraid anymore. It's strange. But my understanding, I don't know. I feel like there are different dimensions. I feel like I sense that there's some things we're not supposed to know. There's so many shows and stories about people encountering aliens and some being hurt by them. But I feel like they're just like with humanity, there's quote unquote good and bad. And I think there's curiosity. Mostly I think there's curiosity. I think there's just some things where, like, I often think about, we're on this planet floating through space, and there's so much we just know in our galaxy, but there's like so many other things beyond that. Have my guide shown me? I remember in 2020, when I would wake up and I knew that this might sound strange to some, like leaving my body and going. I would have dreams of being on the moon. I would have dreams about the moon, and I would wake up and I would sleep for hours, but I would be so exhausted. And the spot that I'm laying in would be like burning up, like I was doing so much work. And I remember, I don't know if I was dreaming or not, but I would often see shadow people, I would call them. People leaning over me, looking at me, standing by my door, you know. It never frighten me, never scared me. And I would just look at them or turn over. And I think that was, I mean, I don't know I'm sure those were my guides. I'm sure I saw B before. I know that was B. And I asked, and, you know, he looked like a shadow, but it looked like inside, this might sound strange, it looked like inside his body was like a galaxy or like stars. It was weird. And he was comforting me. So I don't know if, I think they can show themselves. And I also feel like it's something that's beyond my understanding. It's something I'm still learning. I hope that answered your question. I feel like I was rambling because it's something I don't quite understand fully. Okay, your second question. What do your angels actually look like to you if you are standing in front of them? What are your thoughts about free will and things and life being predetermined? Okay. John with the deep questions. The first angel that appeared to me, first of all, I think they appear as humans. I'll tell you a really quick story. When I was in undergrad, I went to school on Staten Island. I went to St. John's University. Shout out to St. John's University alumni. But I went to school on Staten Island, the campus, and I was going home. No, I'm lying. I was going to see my sister, who lives in Brooklyn. And I took the bus over the bridge, Verrazano. I didn't know I had to take the train to get to her house. I didn't have a transfer or something. And the woman, the person in the booth at the time wouldn't let me through. And I had no money. I was a college student. And out of nowhere, this woman appeared. And she gave me her Metro card and she said, oh, God bless you. You know, God loves you. She gave me it, and I took the card and ran it through the thing, and I looked, and she just disappeared. She was gone. So I'm pretty sure that was an angel, and I think that's how they appear as well. But anyway, when I was sick last year, 2024, was it 2024? No, 2023. December of 2023, I was very, very sick. I was close to getting blood poisoning and you know having to go to the hospital and all that stuff. But luckily, I didn't get to that point. But I almost died. That's something I, came to. That's what they told me. My angels, my guides. The angel who visited me, KAMALA, when I was on the couch. Sort of half awake, not really. They appeared to me like a giant, probably like maybe 7 foot tall, and I didn't see their face, but they had a feminine form, and I heard the voice was very it was a woman's voice, and they didn't have Barakiel didn't have black wings. They were like dark brown. They were brown. They were dark. And they had on, this is how I saw them. They had on like leather armor. Wasn't armor? But it was leather. And that's how they, very tall, like giant, standing over me. And that's how they appeared to me. I know that's not what they looked like, but I think that's how they appeared to me. I remember short, blonde, curly hair. I remember that. So, what was your next question? Now, if I was actually standing in the room with them, I think what I describe is how they would look, because that's how, maybe I think they appear to us how we imagine them, but that's not how they really look. They look like, if they're around me, they're always around me. It's like there's like a looming shadow that's comforting. Sometimes it appears in different colors, like energy, like blues, like I don't know how to describe it. A radiance. Like, you know, when the sun rises or you see a rainbow, that's what it sort of is like. What do I think about free will? Free will, we were given free will, our choices. I do believe we have paths. I do believe there are plans for us, but it's based off of how we choose and what we decide to do and what lessons we decide to learn. It's just we have choices. We can go left, we can go right, we can deal straight. You know, we have choices, and then when we choose something, it opens up the next plan. That's a possibility for us. That's there. Okay. I remember you saying you are aware of the, yeah. That's what I think. Okay. Still learning about that though. All right, next question. Sierra 4645. Okay. I'm so interested in you channeling people. I've always thought that channeling was between a living person and another spiritual entity or a deceased person. When you channel with the living person, are they consciously aware of the exchange, or are you communicating with a part of their personality that is in the subconscious? Yes. Are they ever surprised? Sometimes. Sometimes they're suspicious. Are they ever angry to encounter? I have not encountered someone that becomes angry. Is there a difference between channeling a living person and a deceased person? Oh, it got very loud. When I channel someone, I'm channeling their higher person, their higher selves, is what my guides told me. Their energy, their higher selves. If I channel them, I've never encountered someone who looked at me and was like, "What do you, get out of here?" No. I've encountered Jack Smith, for example. He looked at me very suspiciously, and as he felt my energy and as we, chatted, the next time I channeled with him, he was more open. Sometimes people's energies are just closed and it's hard to get anything. Their personalities do play a role in it. I do feel their personalities, and sometimes they'll share things with me, and little interesting tidbits. I don't know if they're consciously aware of it, but their higher selves are. So subconsciously, yes, people I channel constantly, they're used to, it feels like in their energy, their higher selves is used to seeing me, like Margaruta. And it's almost like I develop a relationship with them in a sense. They're with their higher selves. My higher self with their higher selves. Yes, there's a difference from channeling a person who is deceased versus someone who there's how do I describe it? For example, a person who's alive that I channel often and they get used to seeing me, and I channel them again out of, like Joe Biden, for example. If I didn't channel him for a while, And then when I did, he was almost like he was waiting to speak to me, to tell me these things. So that sort of thing. But the difference with a person who has passed on to the spirit world, the difference is, I don't know what the difference is. It feels, energetically, it feels easier for me. Energetically, it feels less like, I enjoy it more. Because, I guess because their business is finished for the most part. The people I've channeled anyway, their business is finished. I haven't encountered someone who, you know, is struggling to go to, is still, you know, figuring things out before they fully go to the upper room. So I feel like most of the people that I have channeled have passed on or elevated or ascended. So it feels softer. It feels like I have to, they're expecting me, it feels like, when I channel them. I don't want to say it doesn't take as much effort, but it kind of does. It feels more natural when I channel someone who has passed than someone who's alive. With someone who's alive, it takes time to get into, you know, settle with and connect to them, and I'll sit there and I'll hear things. But with someone who has passed, they're just like, they greet me, hello. They greet me, so it's easier. That's the big difference. And I'm assuming because they're not in the physical world anymore, so maybe there's not a lot of static with the people I've channeled. Okay, that could be different for other people who've passed. Maybe they have unfinished business, or, you know, that sort of thing. Okay, hope that answered your question. Oh yeah, for those of you who watched my video yesterday and the channel I did with JFK, I did post it in the community tab, the he's a Wakefield. He's a Wakefield, he kept saying, and I kept asking him, what? He kept saying it like that. He's a Wakefield. It's a joke from the Andy Griffith Show. It's a episode on the Andy Griffith Show about a feuding family, and one is the Wakefields. And it was a joke he was saying a joke. I'm sorry, Mr. President, but I was born in 1984, so I never watched the Andy Griffith Show. But it's interesting, that's what I'm talking about. It's interesting that when I channel people from the past, they say these things and make these references that I have to figure out. But it affirms that I'm actually talking to this person, that I'm actually doing this. So that's amazing to me. And really funny. And when I watched that clip, it was funny. My dad watches the Andy Griffith Show, but I never did. So, and I also looked up, I was like, was he known for his humor, JFK? And yes, he would say funny things during his speeches, and that's what he was doing. They show their personality, you know, and I think that's interesting. Here I am, like, being serious, like, oh, what does he mean he's a Wakefield? After he called him a bag man. He's a Wakefield. Anyway, next question. Okay. All right, Sandra H 573. I am asking one question. Where has Kamala been since 11/6? Why are Jasmine Crockett and AOC the only voices we are hearing? I don't want her as my leader after this. It's time for a strong leader. Okay. Not one who hides for 4 months. Wow. She was also the first African American and the first. Okay, yeah, that's my answer. All right, so okay, Sandra, I hear your anger and I acknowledge it. I hear your frustration and I acknowledge it. Okay. I don't think she's been missing for 3 months. And I want you to think about what you said. Okay. And I say this respectfully, and this is for anyone who is feeling the same way. You are allowed to feel how you feel. But my response to this is she's not been missing. Okay. She, if you pay attention, she's been working, and I have been pulling for her. I've been in her energy. Like I said, when I channel someone constantly, I get to know them. No, I don't know her personally, but what I do know about Kamala Harris is that she works tirelessly, even when the things I have seen, and even when she should be resting. She's very upset about what's happening. I felt that in her energy, but I didn't say it because I don't say it all the time, because I feel like it goes without saying. She is full of compassion and empathy and understanding. She knows how the world works. And you ask, where has she been for the last 4 months? Why is AOC and Jasmine Crockett the only ones? Because that's their job. They are employed by the federal government. They are House representatives, and so they're supposed to speak. They're supposed to do their job. That's what they are paid to do right now. That's why we see them the most, because they are currently employed and they have to represent their constituents. Back to Kamala. She has worked tirelessly, and she has worked as the Attorney General for California from 2011 to 2017. She has worked as a U.S. Senator for California from 2017 up until she was Vice President. She has worked as a Vice President for 4 years, from 2020 to 2024. She has worked and worked tirelessly, effortlessly for the people, genuinely, compassionately. She has worked. She has mastered foreign relations. They love her in Europe because of the work she has done. And I also remember people would ask, where's Kamala as the vice president? What is she doing? She's working. They criticized her then, asking where she is, and didn't ever do that with any other vice president. People would dismiss the vice president, but not her, because 1, she's a black woman, and 2, she's a strong, intelligent leader. And they constantly underestimate her, and that's how they criticized her, asking her where she was while she's doing work, real work. Okay? So, for one, is she supposed to speak loud and speak up and put a target on her back at a time where we're in a crisis and there's people that are dangerous out there? Or is she, like I said, when I pull her cards and I pull for the Democrats, they're working. They're doing what they're supposed to do. And she's doing what she's supposed to do. Whatever she's doing that I can't see fully, she's working. However, if she says, oh, I need a break, I gotta rest, I can't speak right now, I've been through, on top of campaigning, as much as she's campaigned, as hard as she worked, speaking to people, all the work she did. When you ask this now, where is she? She's not a strong leader. That, it just invalidates everything. It's a little disrespectful, and I say this with respect. But black women are allowed to rest. They are allowed to rest. She's not our savior. Okay? That's one thing right there. She's allowed, if she is resting and she doesn't, but she's allowed to. She's not the savior of the world. She's not our savior. And it's unfair of us to put all of that onto one person's shoulders. And the thing about it is, she would take it if we put all of that onto her shoulders. And if and when she takes the seat of the presidency and the crap that will be left for her, she will take that on. You know why? Because she could deal with that. So, to answer your question, Sandra, Kamala is there, but she's not our savior, and she's allowed to rest. With all the work that she has been doing, a true public servant, for years and years and years, for decades. I won't criticize her for keeping her head down or for taking a break for 3 months if that's what she's doing. She's not. But if that's what she's doing, she is allowed to, after being the vice president of the United States for 4 years. She's allowed to take a break. She's allowed to rest. And we have to do what we have to do. And those who are currently employed by the government, they have to do what they have to do. And they're doing it. Okay? So there's your answer. And not being disrespectful, but that's how I feel. And it's the truth. And the same goes for me. If I turn around and say, I'm so tired, I need to take a break from these videos, and knowing how what you guys tell me is that they help you in some way, would you tell me that? Where are you? We need you. And she's a human. She is a strong leader. And just because she's not doing what you want her to do or how you want her to respond, does not mean that you or anyone else has the space to criticize her taking a knee or a rest. 3 months or 4 months out of years of service? We're not going to do that. I do it to myself. I say, I got to do these. I have to get through these personal readings. And my guys will be like, Kim, you got to rest. You can't do another one. And I say, but these people need answers. And they say, no. Pack it up. And you know what I have learned? To pack it up. So you could hold on. And you could do what we need to do work too. This is our efforts. This is our country. We have to do the work, and we can't fully depend on one person. We can't fully depend on the federal government to save us. We have to do work too. It's only fair. Always, no matter what the situation is. Okay? I say that with love. All right. Next question. Let me just breathe. That was a lot. Let me breathe. I'm not angry. That wasn't anger. It was truth. Okay? Because we can't do that. We can't do that to people. We can't. Because I know that. What that struggle is. Putting that weight on your shoulders. As a black woman? No, sorry, Bob. Okay, next question. Deidre24601. I would love to hear about the energy from RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, about what direction the courts and DOJ are going. if the checks and balances of the judicial and legislative will be able to do just that. Okay, check the executive. I will do. She's coming up soon. Yes, I will be. I'll channel her because I'm interested too. Next is Chantel A7613. Hi, Chantel. Do you know if there is a heaven and hell? Y'all are asking the deeps. The deep questions. Do you know if there's a heaven and a hell? Will evil people ever be punished for what they do on earth? I mean, evil is relative. Evil is relative because all you have to do is repent, is what they say. Do I believe there's a heaven and a hell? Yes, I do. Does it look like what? Is it fire and brimstone? I'm not sure. Maybe what the person imagines, you know. I don't. Some people say hell is here, you know, on earth, but no, I don't think that's accurate. I don't sense that. There's this one show. I'm going to tell you guys another quick story. I can't remember the name of the show. I think it used to come on A&E, and it was about people who had near-death experiences. And this one story of this man who, he was a PIMP. He was a pimp, and he was not a good person at all. He was not a good person, and he I can't remember if he got into an accident or if he was a pew. I can't remember, but he had an NDE, and he was describing what he saw, and it was a dark place, and he was crawling. It was an evil place, he was saying, and he could hear growls and crazy stuff. Fire, he saw fire. It was like he felt the fire, and this time he's crawling up, and these things were clawing at him, and he's crawling up out of this tunnel, or this place. He was crawling up, and he got out of the place, and he was brought back to life, essentially, and he knew he was in hell. And because of that, he changed his whole life. He awakened. He stopped being a PIMP. His whole life changed because he knew. Whew, that made chills run down my spine. He knew he was in hell. So, yeah, I do think. I think about my. Oh, there's another story where you guys can believe this or not, but my grandfather, he is a theologian. He's a pastor. He's a master's degree in theology. Very powerful spiritually. A healing presence. He I'm sure he's ascended. But there's a story in my family about, it was the either late 80s or early 90s. It wasn't a family member, but it was this young girl that came up from down south. She was a family friend or something. And my grandparents would often do that. That's what they would take in people. Children, mothers, families, they would take in people. And the girl was involved in a lot of bad stuff. And she asked my grandfather, he was going to church. At that time, he was a pastor at the Tabernacle Church in Queens. I don't know if those of you who are from New York know that church. At that time. And she asked to go. She wanted to be saved. And my grandfather took her, was taking her. They were driving in his Cadillac. He drives Cadillacs at that time. And a car, they was at the stop. This is a story in my family, like a lore, you know. They stopped at the stop sign, or at a light, and a car pulled up beside my grandfather's car. And my grandfather looked over, and it was a man. He had really, really dark skin. And he looked at my grandfather and he said, "You're going to church, huh?" But he was talking to the girl in the back seat, but she didn't hear him. She didn't hear him. And my grandfather tells this story. He's passed now, but he used to tell this story, and he said that was a demon. And he said God blocked her ears, the girl's ears. She didn't look over at the man. He was real close to them. And he stopped at her window. And he said, and my grandfather heard him. And so, do I think there's a heaven and hell? Yeah. That's what I was taught. That's what, you know. Yeah, I do. But I feel like that's a whole other conversation. But to answer your question, yes, I do. I could ask my pendulum. You know, people have different beliefs, though. Maybe it looks different from your perspective, what you imagine it to be, or what it is. But yeah, I do. Is there a heaven and hell? Is there a heaven and hell? Saying yes. So that's my little story. One of my family stories. Oh, well, evil people be punished? Nah, it's a relative. Well, yes, yeah, sure. And some people could change. Nina H6273. Will the planned economic boycott be effective? Are they gaining enough traction? Yes. I do see that. Yeah, it is. More people are paying attention to that. It's going to keep happening. That won't be the first one. That's what I was saying. That's what, when I said barter, I see people doing that more, not because the economy is tanking. I didn't see that. I just see people spending less money purposefully. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. Give me a card for the outcome. I keep saying the world card. It keeps coming up. Give me a card for the outcome of this. Front or back? Yeah, that's Look, the devil and the Eight of Pentacles and the Lovers. Three of Pentacles. Temperance. Yeah. This goes on top here. Yeah. That's what I see. King of Wands. The Lovers. The Lovers. King of Wands. People will be bold. And look, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is what I'm saying. You know, because things will continue to rise prices, more people will say no. And the Queen of Pentacles is like, it could be like financial, but I'm looking at the other cards here, And people are choosing, with the Lovers next to Queen of Pentacles in reverse, not to spend their money. And it doesn't feel like, it doesn't, look, Six of Cups. This bartering thing that I'm seeing, Six of Cups. People are going to choose to spend their money less. It's the people. This is what my guides have been telling me. It is the people. The devil is surrounded by all of this. Building discipline on expanding in a different way when it comes to perhaps spending your money or how you get material goods. Deciding to spend less. This will continue. It will. I see it spreading. It will be successful. Three of Pentacles is the people working, collaborating together. Okay. It might be hard at first, I think, to get people on board. But the Temperance is here. Healing, balance, covering the devil. Will the economic boycott be successful? Will the economic boycott be successful? Say it's a big yes. It's swinging heavy. If you can't see, it's swinging yes, guys. Okay. That's what I see. And it's gonna keep. This won't be the first one. People are fed up. People are done. People's pockets are getting lighter. Everyone's struggling financially. Not in a point of like, people are on fixed incomes. People are choosing between, it's tough. So this is what will happen. Okay. Next question. Darb B8870. Could you channel Governor Tim Walz? Yes, I can. I will channel him. Dearly not so departed. The burning question I have is, how will the current administration be stopped? I think I answered a similar question to this. Specifically, with every possible branch of government and law enforcement stacked in their favor. That doesn't matter. It's really not stacked in their favor. That doesn't matter. As opposed to how it will happen specifically, I can't tell you that. I don't know. Like I said, it's going to happen in chapters. It's going to be, the people is at the center, though, I can tell you that. Karen P 3386. Do you still see Kamala taking the reins as our POTUS? That's what the energy says. No, she will not run for governor. She won't. No. If she wanted to be governor, she would have ran for governor a long time ago. That was not in her. Will Kamala run for governor of California? No. No. I don't see that. Okay. Don G. Are DEMS waiting on the egregious act? Are they waiting on a secret signal? They tell us to call our reps like phone calls are gonna save democracy. It will save democracy. Are they? They're not stalling, they're working. I'm seeing angry town halls, and I'm concerned people will Never forgive them. What do y'all want Democrats to do? That's my question. Tell me, other than what they're doing. I'm genuinely asking, do you want them to fight them? They can't be like Republicans. They're there to protect the Constitution, and they're there to protect democracy. And what happened is terrible. We can't put it all on them, though. You can't. They are who we got. We can't also expect them to save us. They're who we have. Yes, you have to go to these town halls. Yes, you have to show how angry you are, so that when you go to the next town hall, there are even more people and saying like, yeah, this is crazy. Even maybe people that you wouldn't expect to be there. Hold the right people accountable. It is the people that has to rise up and continue to rise up and continue to band together. That's the answer. That's the answer that the channeled messages have. The people who I channel, people from the past, prominent African Americans tell me it's the people. It's us. That's it. So make your phone calls. Go to your town halls. Ask your questions. Don't click clickbait. Don't focus on static. Make sure the information you are gathering and getting is the right information. Be well informed, not angry in a way that stops you from listening. And I'm not saying don't be angry. I'm saying don't be angry in a way that paralyzes you or, distracts you. Be angry at the right people because they could only do what they can do. And I say that as someone who has been on that side. I've been where they are. I understand. I've pulled cards for them. You could go back in my past readings and look at they are working. They are working. I don't know if they're waiting for a signal, but they're doing something. And it's full of memos and secret meetings. If you go into a space where you don't trust if you go into a space where if you're a Democrat and you don't trust them and you fall into apathy, it will be on you too. I'm just being blatant here, okay? Because I'm not saying you can't be angry. I get the frustration, but it's not. This is what we have right now. We have to deal with what we have. We have to work within our circumstance. We can't resist the Democrats. We can't resist the process. We have to work with what we have, and we have to, what did Harriet Tubman say? Use their system against them. So what does that look like? Constantly calling it out. Constantly saying no. Informing yourself with the right information, not the nonsense and the distraction. What the laws are, what lawsuits are out there, what's happening in the courts, what is legal, what is illegal. That's what we have to do. I say that with love. I mean it. I'm serious. This is tough, Kim, okay? This is... When I use confrontation with my clients to get them to move beyond into a different point, this is how I speak. Could I please channel Abraham Lincoln? I'm not quite ready for that yet. I don't feel drawn to channel him. I gotta figure some stuff out with him. Okay? I've asked before, but it has come up twice since. Will there be? No, there won't be a food shortage. There has been food shortages before in the U.S. Let me see. I know there'll be an egg shortage because of bird flu. There's a food shortage now. You know what I mean? Yeah, during the pandemic, there was a food insecurity increased. It is increased. There's always been food insecurity is a big issue. I remember I did a paper in grad school on food insecurity. My first year in grad school. This is not new. There's always been food shortages, and there doesn't need to be. But, you know, there's enough food to feed the world, actually. But do I see food shortages? No, I don't see that. Let's ask. My guys are saying no. Will there be food shortages in the United States? No. Let me ask why. You know, it's saying something about the farms. Whoa, one of my guys is very loud. Hold on. It's like they're saying no to me, right? And they're saying it's something about the farms and something about farmers. But the feeling doesn't feel how it won't be a food shortage. It feels like it's an uncomfortable feeling. Hold on, I can't. It's like they'll try to come up with a solution that farmers won't like, and it will be again, they will revolt or protest. It feels like a disgusting feeling, I'll be honest. I see them like angry, saying, my guys are showing me, they're saying no, like red-faced anger. I see this solution that, or this issue that will come up, something about farms, and people will protest this thing that they will try to do that feels disgusting. Something about labor. I heard labor. It could be. They're going to say absolutely not. But there won't be a food shortage. Something's going to come out about that. I'll look at that again. That was a good question. Because it seems like a lot of emotion behind the answer. Okay. Can you ask Joy Reid why she was fired? She was fired? I'm starting to dictate. Oh, they have always controlled the media, but I didn't know she was fired. Why was she fired? Yeah. Let me see. There, was she fired because of financial reasons? I feel like I heard her say they always wanted to get rid of me. I heard her say that. My nose is itching. That's what I heard her say. That it feels like multiple reasons. Could be because she was black, you know? I get text messages from MSNBC often about their ratings and how they might be off the air. So, hey, you know, when you... I don't watch the news, so, I used to watch MSNBC. There's some people on there that I do like. But I kind of gave Joy Reid a side eye for what she did to Kamala when she ran for president the first time. I'm not saying she deserved to be fired. I don't know what happened, but I gave it a side eye. Okay, guys, that's it. That was the final question. I hope you got something out of this. We got through it. And I will do this again next Tuesday. I will upload Let's Chat tomorrow. And I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Bye.